Long ago, in a sector where drifting signals whispered across unsettled space, humanity tried to secure peaceful exchanges with distant powers. Among these missions traveled a young pianist named Anna, chosen not for combat skill or political lineage, but because of the resonance her music seemed to carry. She boarded a diplomatic vessel with humility, unaware that her role would expand beyond cultural symbolism. Her assignment appeared simple, yet unknown forces prepared to judge more than melodies. The vessel approached an enormous station shaped like a flattened ring. Multicolored beams pulsed from its perimeter. The diplomatic team included trained officers, translators, and analysts who understood coded gestures. Anna remained silent during the landing procedure, clutching a portable keyboard that carried holographic strings. She had practiced countless hours, though none could fully predict what alien expectations might impose. The atmosphere inside the docking bay shimmered with electromagnetic clarity that revealed glistening corridors upon entering the assembly chamber. The team faced a grand hall lined with reflective panels. Each panel changed shades like living crystals. A cluster of tall figures awaited them. Their frames resembled elongated shells, polished like glass under a bright lamp. Their posture implied ancient dignity. The leading translator delivered respectful greetings. The figures produced harmonic pulses that vibrated across the hall. Anna sensed curiosity in those pulses and stepped forward cautiously. Human officials requested permission to demonstrate art as a gesture of trust. The tall figures approved through synchronized vibrations. Anna was ushered toward a platform beneath a hovering prism. The prism emitted faint luminescence that coalesced into a projected instrument resembling a piano, though its surfaces floated without seams. Anna took her position. She recalled training that encouraged calm breath and flexible motions. The diplomatic team stood behind her, stunned by the imposing architecture spanning the chamber. The tall figures anticipated something modest. They expected a short tune that would serve as ritual acknowledgement. Anna began gently. Her opening notes traveled across the chamber and reverberated along the crystalline panels. Those notes evolved into fluid expansions that merged with the prism. Her hands swept gracefully. The alien listeners straightened, captivated by the evolving resonance. Even the diplomatic team felt drawn into the sonic aura that swelled through currents of unknown frequency. Anna released cascading harmonies that surged with human sentiment, built from layered childhood memories, distant aspirations, and sorrowful reflections. Her music soared beyond ordinary recital. The tall figures swayed. Their shells glowed with shifting colors. Analysts monitored atmospheric data and discovered fluctuating radiation patterns correlated with Anna's rhythmic modulation. Those patterns illuminated the hall with tranquil ripples. Word spread deep within the station that humanity possessed a grand artistic tradition. Observers assembled along elevated terraces. Anna transitioned into a vigorous progression that pulsed with determination. The cavernous hall responded like a living vessel. Vibrations extended down corridors. The tall figures closed their eyes and embraced the moment. Anna's expression remained calm, though emotions surged through her veins. She delivered a masterpiece that blended innovation with discipline. Hours seemed to compress, though the performance lasted only minutes. When the final chord resonated, silence enveloped the chamber. The tall figures radiated warm glows. A pulse echoed like ceremonial affirmation. Anna stepped back humbly. Human officials exchanged hopeful glances, sensing positive momentum. Diplomacy no longer rested solely upon treaties. Music had forged something deeper. Negotiations continued across several cycles. Anna attended sessions as an honored representative. She played short interludes during strategic discussions, guiding moods toward mutual respect. Human analysts documented every exchange and realized that Emotional nuance, conveyed through harmonic structure, allowed breakthroughs. The tall figures adapted diplomatic frameworks that included scheduled artistic intervals. No conflict arose, only collaborative insight. During one extended session, a dispute nearly emerged regarding resource distribution across neighboring star fields. Analysts struggled to mediate. Anna responded by performing a reflective passage that depicted balance. Her measured progression stirred empathy across the chamber. Hostility dissolved. Unity triumphed. Officials later stated that her melody functioned like a psychological bridge. Anna toured research wings within the station. Scientists presented devices that responded to sound patterns and generated recorded fractals. Anna realized that her performance activated energy structures capable of shaping microcurrents. She experimented cautiously, creating controlled sequences that unfolded like delicate branches. Observers applauded the discovery. Human officials celebrated the collaborative potential. Her influence extended beyond diplomacy. Cultural programs formed, encouraging children across colonies to explore artistic studies. Anna received messages from distant families describing how young learners practiced scales that symbolized interstellar hope. Concert halls filled with listeners eager to replicate her courage. Humanity gained admiration through her example, not through force, but through expression rooted in sincerity. One departure cycle approached. Anna prepared to leave the station. The tall figures planned a farewell gathering. The assembly hall was adorned with luminous glyphs representing unity. Representatives delivered speeches filled with gratitude. Anna offered a final performance, though modest in duration. She selected soft notes that echoed like dawn across their collective memory. The hall glistened and resonated with promise. When her vessel detached from the station, trails of radiant particles accompanied the exit corridor. Anna gazed through a viewport, reflecting on everything achieved. She understood that she had contributed something indelible. The diplomatic team applauded her quiet resolve. Humanity benefited profoundly, acquiring alliances that encouraged exploration and scientific advancement. Back upon home soil, Anna walked through streets lined with banners displaying interstellar symbols. Crowds welcomed her with admiration. She returned to quiet practice, never boasting about her accomplishments. Various institutions invited her to compose works commemorating milestones. She politely accepted. Her compositions captured interstellar unity and inspired commerce, education, and research. Years advanced. The alliance strengthened. Trade routes expanded. Communities established cultural exchanges. Young explorers departed carrying instruments. Many referred to Anna's first performance as the turning point. A monument rose near the Central Academy, shaped like a prism that projected shifting hues. Inside the monument, archived recordings preserved her masterpiece for future study. Anna visited occasionally. She listened quietly, acknowledging the music that once bridged galaxies. Her expression revealed gratitude. Those attending recognized that her influence extended beyond artistic achievement. She represented the gentle strength humanity could reveal. Anna continued performing at modest gatherings and diplomatic forums. Officials relied upon her intuitive awareness to ease negotiations. She guided foreign leaders toward creative compromise. Her knowledge matured toward innovative forms. She collaborated with scientists to design instruments that interpreted neural impulses and generated visual echoes. The resulting devices adorned research campuses and inspired multidisciplinary projects. Her legacy reached remote settlements where colonists faced challenges establishing ecosystems. Anna traveled to those regions, carrying portable consoles. She played heartfelt passages that renewed morale. Colonists sang harmonies that became cultural identity. Settlements flourished. Time marched onward. Anna transitioned into advisory roles. She mentored young artists, teaching them to cultivate authenticity. She reminded them that music held power when shared selflessly. Her students traveled across sectors, contributing to exhibitions and scholarly forums. They reinforced alliances and developed new frameworks for cultural diplomacy. Anna observed proudly. Often she recalled the first encounter inside the radiant hall. She remembered the towering figures and their mysterious pulses. She remembered uncertainty dissolving beneath her fingertips. She knew that the universe responded not merely to sound but to intention. Her testament demonstrated that creative spirit could guide civilizations through uncharted futures. She never sought recognition. Yet recognition arrived nonetheless. Her piano masterpiece remained archived within the Prism Monument. Visitors experienced spatial projections that mapped emotional dynamics. Analysts decoded patterns that influenced policy. Leaders referenced her impact during ceremonial speeches. Anna participated with humility. Her journey persisted. She embarked on additional missions and created new compositions influenced by different landscapes. Stormy planets, fertile moons, and drifting installations all inspired sequences. She developed techniques that shaped soundscapes into navigational beacons. Exploration crews appreciated these signals. They synchronized their voyages according to harmonic intervals. Near the twilight of her career, Anna returned to the monument. She entered silently. The recorded masterpiece began, surrounding her with the same warmth she once released across that hall. She remained motionless, absorbing every chord. It reminded her that humanity possessed a deep well of creativity. The monument lights faded gently. Anna stepped outside. She wandered through a garden planted with luminous vines. She watched young students carrying instruments toward practice rooms. She sensed continuity. She sensed that her influence would survive. Her final public performance occurred within a newly constructed Academy amphitheater. Representatives from allied cultures attended. The audience consisted of diplomats, scholars, and children. When Anna played, her notes traveled like guiding stars. Unity filled the amphitheater. Listeners arose in gratitude. They recognized that a simple tune had transformed into something unparalleled as applause echoed. Anna glanced toward the night sky. She felt fulfilled. She expected nothing further. She understood the masterpiece had never belonged solely to her. It belonged to every ear that welcomed it. That truth carried harmony across generations, ensuring a path woven with compassion and mutual understanding. After the amphitheater dimmed and the attendees dispersed, Anna remained seated near the platform. The echoes lingered, not as noise but as living resonance, drifting across starlit courtyards. She understood that endings carried whispers of beginnings. A young engineer approached, explaining that Starship Nav teams requested advisory input regarding harmonic calibration. Anna accepted politely. She joined a small shuttle bound for a research nexus situated above polar clouds. During transit, Anna studied streams of recorded data. Tones that she once improvised now assisted explorers routing safe passages around volatile debris clusters. Pilots synchronized adjustments with rhythmic cues. Cargo fleets moved efficiently. Medical craft reached distant communities where urgent support was needed. Music became infrastructure. Her heart warmed. The research nexus greeted her with prismatic banners. Specialists unveiled an enormous resonator that captured frequencies within layered chambers. They asked Anna to refine parameters. She played intricate passages. Sensors sparked. Deep channels aligned. The resonator hummed, broadcasting unified signals that guided travelers across complex sectors. Teams celebrated. Later, Anna retired to a small habitat ring. She prepared tea and gazed through transparent shielding. She observed countless lights where vessels traveled with confidence. She reflected on everything achieved. She recognized that her journey remained unfinished. She took her instrument once more and practiced quietly. Each phrase signified continuity. Days later, the Nexus announced that her calibrations stabilized navigation corridors. Tributes poured from distant colonies. Anna smiled gently. She placed her instrument upon a polished stand and walked through a corridor filled with murals illustrating interstellar harmony. Steps echoed. Purpose remained. When evening settled, Anna composed a final message addressed to young learners. She encouraged perseverance, patience, and curiosity. The message traveled alongside navigational broadcasts. Across diverse settlements, students repeated her guidance. They believed that creativity nurtured resilience, lighting paths across distance, ensuring every frontier welcomed shared growth and meaningful understanding peace.